A kilometer below the ocean's surface, far beyond the reach of sunlight, lies a black expanse larger than all other habitats on Earth combined. A world that seems lifeless, yet teems with existence, just not in any form we're used to. The creatures here look as though they've arrived from another planet. They don't speak. They don't call. Instead, they communicate through light, nature's oldest and most dazzling language. Nearly every creature down here has two jobs: attract a mate and avoid becoming someone else's meal. And in the deep, light itself becomes their voice. These flashes are so common that in a way this might be the most widespread form of communication on the entire planet. And yet the astonishing truth is, we still know almost nothing about this glowing language. Hunters of the eternal night, meet the fangtooth fish Anoplogaster cornuta. Don't let its small size fool you. Pound for pound, it has the most terrifying jaws in the ocean. Its dagger-like teeth are almost as long as its head, so large that it can't even close its mouth completely. But that's not a flaw. Those teeth form a perfect cage, locking in any prey unlucky enough to stray within reach. Across its body runs a web of pressure-sensitive nerves, a kind of biological radar that detects the faintest vibration in the water. If there's a true night stalker of the deep, this is it. And it's not only the hunters who are clever. The hunted have their own artistry. Some squid and crustaceans release what scientists call luminous ink, a blinding cloud of phosphorescent mist that distracts predators for the single critical moment they need to escape. Down here, ordinary rules of time and aging seem to dissolve. There exist beings that challenge our very idea of what life can be: siphonophores, distant relatives of jellyfish. They're not a single creature, but a colony of cloned individuals called zooids that live as one, and they just keep growing. Some chains have been recorded stretching more than 130 feet long, living swimming cities that never stop drifting through the dark, marine snow, and silent life. But what power keeps this twilight world alive? Even thousands of meters down, it still snows, what we call marine snow. It's not ice, but a slow, endless fall of organic dust, bits of plankton feces, and fragments of life sinking from the sunlit surface. This steady rain of detritus forms the foundation of the entire deep-sea food chain, what scientists refer to as the biological pump. Whole communities depend on it: jellyfish, worms, and delicate sea cucumbers feeding off this meager trickle of energy. What remains drifts lower, still settling for millions of years, until it forms a dense, silent layer of mud, sometimes half a mile thick. This is the abyssal plain, the vastest, quietest landscape on Earth, where every grain of sediment tells an ancient story of life from above. But silence doesn't mean emptiness. In this endless sea of mud, life endures through ruthless efficiency. Look at the sea toad, a relative of the anglerfish. It looks like evolution's rough draft, yet it's perfectly designed for this place. Instead of swimming, it's turned its fins into stubby feet, shuffling across the seafloor like an old hermit, waiting for luck to swim by. Here, wasting even a drop of energy is a death sentence. Next to it glides the pancake octopus, likely a close cousin of the Dumbo octopus. Its body is flat and pliable like a soft crepe, letting it skim the mud in search of hidden worms. When danger nears it, doesn't hesitate, it jets away in an instant. Down here, under crushing pressure and eternal darkness, survival is defined by one rule: use the least energy to achieve the most. Speed means life. But patience and silence are the ultimate art of survival. Every night after sunset, something extraordinary unfolds. An event most people never realize happens at all the greatest migration on the planet. Billions of creatures, from tiny crustaceans to larger fish, rise from the depths to graze on plankton near the surface. The phenomenon, called the daily vertical migration, moves a mass of living tissue greater than all of humanity combined. It's a hidden highway through the dark, the ocean's own biological commute. But darkness doesn't guarantee safety. From still deeper waters, predators follow the faint glow of the swarm. It's a race that never ends. And when dawn breaks, the entire procession must dive again, retreating from the one light that can't control the burning sunlight above. Even if we forget, they never do. Every single day, without fail, they repeat the journey, a silent lesson in the invisible unity of life. If you enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe. It helps our videos reach more curious minds across the ocean of YouTube. Descent into the world of light. If you're searching for the brightest place on Earth, forget Las Vegas. Go deeper into the ocean's darkest heart. Down there, creatures use light as language and darkness as shelter. To visit their world, we need a special machine, the Johnson Sea-Link submersible. A glass-walled steel sphere engineered to withstand pressures 20 times greater than the air above. I sit inside the transparent bubble beside the pilot. As we descend, the blue outside fades, and everything melts into absolute black. This is the moment we leave our world and enter another, an alien planet beneath our own. At around 600 feet, we begin to feel the weight of the deep. The thick glass trembles softly. The temperature drops to just a few degrees above freezing. Without this shell, your body would collapse like an empty soda can. But instead of death, there's life, vivid, astonishing life. Hundreds of tiny lights flash all around us, forming a starry sky beneath the sea. They're not reflections of our lamps, but signals a silent Morse code conversation among hundreds of deep-sea organisms. You're watching a light show, and the only audience is us, the glowing world below. I switch on the sub's auxiliary light. In the water thick as smoke, a huge shape drifts past about the size of a football, glowing faintly red. It's a giant comb jelly informally known among scientists as Big Red. Strangely, this species still has no official scientific name. It's one of thousands of new creatures discovered only within this century, proof that we know far less about the ocean floor than we do about the surface of Mars. Under the beam of the light, its transparent body reveals glimmering ribs that shimmer like stained glass in an ancient cathedral. Beauty, it seems, can thrive even in a place where light itself has died. We spot another giant jellyfish, Solmissus, spreading nearly 2 feet across. Astonishingly, it survives near the surface, despite the brutal shifts in pressure. Beside it drifts Keohemia, another comb jelly wrapped in gauzy skirts that ripple gracefully like a ballet dancer underwater. Their glass-clear bodies serve one purpose: invisibility. In the dim twilight zone, transparency is the perfect camouflage. But to witness the ocean's most breathtaking spectacle, we must turn off every light. The cabin sinks into absolute darkness. Outside, the void explodes with light. A jellyfish traces its own glowing outline, its heartbeat pulsing in luminous rhythm. A giant squid flashes in sync with the contractions of its muscles. Each species speaks in its own code, of light signals, of love, warnings of danger, or perhaps pure display. No one really knows. Maybe they don't either. They simply do what life has always done, find a way to keep going. Even in total darkness, there is always light. When we cut the sub's lamps, the abyss becomes a silent fireworks show. This is bioluminescence. Not random chemistry, but a controlled reaction between the enzyme luciferase and the compound luciferin. Watch the deep-sea anglerfish, a cunning predator. The glow from its lure isn't its own. It comes from millions of symbiotic bacteria living inside the fleshy fishing rod atop its head. That living lantern is the perfect trap, drawing victims straight into jaws lined with needle-sharp teeth. Here, every spark of light carries a price, the price of becoming someone else's final meal. Each species of anglerfish has its own style of bait. Some wield lures twice the length of their bodies, dangling them like insect traps. Others hide their lights inside their mouths, a secret invitation promising a quick end. But in the dark, every promise is a lie. Some species even suspend their lure a full foot beneath their chin, as if evolution itself were experimenting with absurd ideas. Here, mistakes kill individuals, but imagination saves species. And thankfully, our dating apps don't use this strategy. Lakes within the sea, and the philosophy of darkness. We turn toward the Gulf of Mexico, where the seafloor hides one of Earth's strangest sights: lakes within the ocean. Under crushing pressure, methane gas and salt seep from beneath the seabed, forming ultra-salty pools denser than the seawater around them. These brine pools, or dead salt lakes, shimmer like molten glass, nearly 50 feet deep. Fish approach their edges, then suddenly turn away, as if an invisible wall bars their path. A lake of death inside an ocean of life. A perfect paradox of nature. And yet around the brine's deadly rim, life thrives. Giant mussels, as long as a human arm, cluster in colonies that can live for over a century. Below them swarm shrimp, squat lobsters, and enormous tube worms. This entire community survives not on sunlight but on chemosynthetic bacteria, microbes, that feed on the chemical energy leaking from the earth itself. But not every visitor survives. Cutthroat eels, scavengers of the deep, sometimes slip into the brine. Their bodies convulse in chemical shock before they sink, preserved forever by the salt's lethal density. Around the lake's edges, their corpses rest perfectly intact, a graveyard, sculpted by the sea, marking the fragile line between life and oblivion. The world beneath the sea is not a hell. It's another chapter in the story of life where darkness is not the end, but the beginning of extraordinary adaptation. Here, life doesn't depend on light. It creates its own. Every flicker in the dark is a declaration. Even in silence, nature still tells its stories through light, resilience, and millions of years of relentless experimentation. This world may feel alien, but it's inseparable from our planet, and in some quiet way, it's a reflection of ourselves. Beneath the crushing depths where no human has truly walked, nature continues to tell its stories in light, in silence, and in beings that defy every rule we thought we understood. The tiny lanterns glowing in that darkness aren't just survival tools. They're reminders that even where all seems lost, life still finds a way to shine. Perhaps the real question isn't, how do they survive in the dark, but rather, what makes them choose to turn darkness into light? Can we, living in our own world of neon and noise, still see beauty in the dark? And if the deep ocean can illuminate itself, then perhaps the deepest parts of us can do the same. If you enjoyed this journey, share the video to spread the ocean's story, and subscribe to TerraSavage for more journeys into Earth's hidden wonders. Because in nature's world, whenever you think everything is sunk into darkness, that's usually the moment when something begins to glow.